Hey there, it's me, Lonnie Clark, Nuts for Art, once again. I know it's been a really long time since I came to YouTube, but I have been having, I guess, my listeners or my subscribers on my mind. I know I've neglected my channel, pretty much walked away from it. I guess I haven't because here I am. I guess I'll be doing this once a month or so. Maybe that's what you should look for. Um, But I really want to speak my mind about some things right now because many of you know I have my radio show Monday through Thursday now, sometimes on Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on UCY.TV. And you can watch the podcast on UCY TV, which if you subscribe to UCY TV, you actually get all the other really great shows and you can sort of pick and choose your other really great shows like Nuclear Hot Seat, which is my most favorite show of all of their shows. Um, the reason I'm coming to YouTube is to talk about, I guess, our integrity. Um, the reason people don't wake up or pay attention or whatever it is we want to call it, it's because that means you have to do something after that. Your life changes. And it's kind of a shock to realize that we've all just been played and we've all been manipulated. Uh, it's what I call the come to Jesus moment when you realize, like, really? That's it? Like the Scooby Doo moment. You're like, that's what I've been going through since Barack Obama got elected. That's actually, I guess, since Bush stole the election. When I changed was when Bush stole the election. I was in America. I mean, I've told this story many times. I grew up in Southern California, lived there most of my life, moved away for 10 years during my 20s and moved back to California in my 30s and lived there until I left until I was 47. And I never knew San Onofre was a nuclear power plant. For real, folks. I thought it was an observatory. For real. I really thought it was an observatory. 100% I thought it was a naval observatory. Never in my mind ever occurred to me it was a nuclear power plant. So it was after Fukushima happened when I started becoming a Fuku fighter, paying attention to the nuclear waste, realizing that we are like massively super screwed on the nuclear waste issue, like beyond, kind of like when you start looking at the pharmaceutical, the chemical, all that stuff that these American, quote, entrepreneurs, these multi-billionaires, all these people, like all of them, like even the Johnson and Johnson family, like they make baby powder. What do you think their stuff comes from? Stuff that harms the earth. They're billionaires and they're killing the planet. Is that fair? This is why I wanted to come to YouTube. Because this is what needs to change. We have people a few handful of people, several 100,000 people who have billions of dollars. Like gazillions, beyond anything you and I could ever imagine ever having. The way they got that is on the back of slave labor. They got it on the back of killing Mother Earth, on buying carbon credits so they can pollute the earth and then buy portions of the jungle and say, oh, we're offsetting it because we're using this as a reserve. That's such crap. So it is up to us, folks. I mean, the few of us that are out here, anybody that I have 300, slightly over 300 subscribers, 326, I think at this point. I actually do pay attention. Bit competitive here, but I do pay attention. But I don't actually seek because I want people to want this information. And I'm not very good at comedy, but I'm going to start making puppets again. I'm working on my puppets. I haven't done them yet because I'm still working on them. And but I have this idea about doing puppet shows to make fun of the nuclear industry because they're freaking ridiculous. Like they're killing us, and we're like, oh yeah, no problem. Just here, take my kids. What the fuck? Seriously, folks. I don't know about you, but this is not acceptable. Like, we have to laugh at this shit because honestly, I mean, beyond comprehension. And this is the thing. We don't have enough weapons to be able to fight back. You know what we have is our brain, we have our hearts, we have our minds. We decide no. And no is what it's going to be. And that's what we're seeing. The nuclear power industry is dying. They know they're at the end. Unless they have some miracle breakthrough where they can transform all this nuclear waste that they've been poisoning our family and our friends and our lives and our planet and killing everything on the planet with. Unless they have some miracle discovery, nuclear is on its way out. As well it should be. Although I have to admit, I think about a person who I spoke to when I first started the radio show, who told me that the outsiders, who I call, the alien beings, I call them outsiders because they're not here with us on Earth. Or if they are here on Earth with us, we can't see them in this realm. Or they hide themselves from us, or whatever that whole deal is about. So I call them the outsiders. Let's just put it to you that way. I mean, if they really have the possibility to change things. Okay, so this person told me that they need nuclear waste because they can turn it into gold, and they need gold for their spaceships. I can tell you this is an odd thing. This is why I don't discount it. When I first became aware of Fukushima, it was way backwards. I believed President Barack Obama. I believed him 100% when he said everything was fine. I mean, I bid it hook, line, and sinker. I didn't like Hillary Clinton, but I didn't think that she knowingly was lying to us. Unlike we've read in her emails. They knew. They knowingly lied to us about Fukushima. Okay, so I believed all of them. And it wasn't until I had the nightmare on May 5th, 2012, where I saw the sky orange, like super orange. And I thought, oh my God, Hanford's on fire. Because my friend Louisa Hamachek had been wanting me to do all this stuff. She wanted me to go see Dr. Caldecott. And I'm like, no, I have to work. I got it. All that nuclear pollution, all that stuff's really bad. I had this nightmare about Hanford being on fire. And I went to the internet. And I couldn't find anything on Hanford. It was like, what's going on here? But something about Fukushima came up, like Fukushima 800,000 becquerels, like what the heck? I knew nothing about nuclear. I guess I would know a dropper full if I was to tell you how I understand how it all works. Except that I do know this, it's super bad. That's what I know. All of the documentation shows that it's harmful to all biota. Humans, animals, plants, dirt. Es no bueno. It's a really bad, unhealthy, negative thing. And all the documentation showed that. Okay, so then I find out about Fukushima. I start paying attention. And then this thing about San Onofre comes up. This was totally hilarious. I'm like, what do you mean San Onofre? I had no idea. I had driven past San Onofre nuclear power plant for years. I mean, years. I was 40 years old when I moved away from Southern California. That is a seriously long time. Talk about having to have a come to Jesus moment. When you realize you have been totally brainwashed. I had no idea. I bid it hook, line, and sinker. This is why I understand everybody across the country who's like, la, 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 don't want to hear about Fukushima. Because we hear about it, but we can't hear about it. We see it, but we can't see it. It's the same issue about child abuse. It's about spousal abuse. It's about self-abuse. We see it, but we can't see it. You get what I'm saying? This is the good part. This is the good news. And this is where I love Jesus. Because Jesus gives us the good news, right? The good news is we're hearing it now. We're listening to it now. We're seeing it. We're recognizing our own shortcomings. We're understanding how to overcome them. We're not stuck in that place because we can see ourselves. I mean, we're able to look at ourselves responding in this way. It's a very interesting perspective to look at yourself responding. How is it that I grew up in Southern California and thought that San Onofre was a naval base? We never talked about it. That's how. It was never even considered. This is why it's super important for us to walk in love, to be loved, to understand, and to forgive ourselves. We are challenged in this particular time with understanding that we have been sidewinded, I guess, swindled. We have literally been swindled out of a healthy, completely healthy environment. We have been swindled. And yet, here we are participating. We're on the internet. We're using all the coal ban to make this laptop. Do you know that in the Congo, I went to a seminar last year at the University of Oregon, and this man provided documentation that shows 52,000 people a week or a month are killed in the Congo. That's over 1 million people a year. It was a week because it was over 1 million people a year in the Congo are murdered to mine coltan, which is necessary to make every laptop that we use. And we participate in it. So you want to know why we are not hearing about nuclear pollution? We're beginning to hear about the GMOs. I mean, people are getting sick. The fact is, we have mass die-offs. We're having massive die-offs, cancer rates, just unspeakable things. I'm looking for my water, but it's in the other room. So, and can I stop this? I don't know. Let me see if I can halt it a minute. Get the water. Hold on.